Over time and thousands of kilometres, your Groupset will wear. It's a consumable part and something that's inevitable. However, here is a list of mistakes many cyclists make and you should avoid to make your bike last longer and avoid unnecessary damage. Before we go any further, to perform any of the maintenance jobs discussed in this list, you can find step-by-step instructions in the GCN Essential Guide to Bike Maintenance book, available from shop.global cycling network. The first, without doubt, is cleaning. After dirty rides, clean your bike. Use a degreaser to remove oil, dirt and grime, which if left on, develops into a grinding paste which can make you slower and wears your components out quicker. This is especially important if you've ridden in salted or gritted roads, as salt eats bikes and components. Even just rinsing it off with some water will help. It's important to properly lubricate your bike, and WD-40 is not lube. We see many riders spraying WD-40 or PTFE sprays on their bikes and drivetrains like it's lubricant. It's not suitable for drivetrains. Furthermore, your derailleurs contain thick grease on the joints to help move and articulate them, and spraying PTFE spray into these recesses and areas can wash the heavy grease out. PTFE sprays will cause your drivetrain to be less efficient and it won't last as long, causing premature wear. Instead, make sure you use a dedicated bike lube and ideally apply the lubricant from the top of the chain, running the chain through and making sure each link has lubricant on it. Don't use too much and wipe off the excess that accumulates on the outside plates. And just lube the chain. Do not lube the cassette, and don't add lube on top of lube that's already been applied. It will build up and the previously mentioned grinding paste will occur. Over time, your chain wears and stretches. This is normal and can be checked with a simple cheap tool like this, which measures the gaps. When your chain is stretched, it's time to change it. This is important, as if you don't, it will wear your cassette to match the stretched chain, meaning you need to also replace your cassette too, costing you more money. It's common that people replace their chain and then their gears skip. This is usually because the new chain is skipping on the worn cassette. It's really important that your limit screws are set up properly, as if they're not, it will cause you to drop your chain when you try to shift gear or if you ride over bumpy terrain. This is where the chain comes off the chain rings and the sprockets. If your chain drops between your chain rings and the frame, it's likely to scratch and gouge it and it can get jammed. The same thing can happen at the bottom of the cassette. And at the top of the cassette, the worst thing that can happen is the derailleur limit isn't set properly and the rear derailleur moves too far across and into the spinning spokes of your wheel, which can destroy your wheel and your derailleur. To set them up properly is simple, and we have videos on how to do it. Riding at the extremities of your drivetrain, so small chainring and smallest cassette sprocket, biggest chainring and the biggest sprocket on the cassette will cause premature wear on your drivetrain, and it's less mechanically efficient, meaning that you don't go as fast for the same effort. There are times in race situations where you may do it, however try to avoid it where possible and your components, wallet and average speed will thank you. So there you have it. If you find maintenance tips and videos like this useful, then be sure to support the channel by subscribing and we'll see you in the next one. Love you, bye!